friends, today we're going to be making our winter paper collages. Now remember, a collage is when an artist places pieces of paper on top of each other to make a work of art. You can find your paper anywhere. You can use construction paper, you can use magazines, newspapers. They just use whatever paper is around them and glue that on top of each other to make a work of art. For our project, the background, we're going to start by doing a painting before we do our paper collage. And you're going to be talking about value while you're creating this. So we want to first draw with a pencil the shape that we're going to need because it's a picture of us playing in the snow, moving our arms and legs. So we have to create that form. So what you're going to do is, it kind of reminds me a little bit of a, candy corn. You're going to do a giant triangle that's rounded on the edges of your paper. So what I'm going to do, and I want to draw really light, I'm going to do an angled line that goes about to the middle of my paper, comes back down, and it should be about the same length. Okay, so a big triangle on my paper. So it should look something like that. You're then going to go in and you're just going to kind of round it because we don't want pointed edges. You're going to take your eraser and anywhere you have to go in and erase lines, go ahead and do that. So we now have an area for our head and our legs. So let's make some spots for our arms. You're going to come out down a little bit from the top and you're just going to draw a line that comes all the way almost to the edge of the paper, wraps back down. And then same thing on this side. Okay, so this line now, in between these shapes, you're going to go in and erase. So you should have something that kind of looks like this. It doesn't have to be perfect, but the form should be about the same. And you want it to almost fill the paper up. Okay, so I'm going to go in now with blue paint on my paintbrush. I want to remember, I hold my paintbrush by the gripper like a pencil. I'm first going to go in and I'm going to outline with the blue paint. And I want to kind of do this quick because what we're going to be doing is mixing paint on our paper. So we don't want any dry spots. So keep dipping that brush, kind of be a little thick with that blue so that when we go in with the white, it mixes. Alright, so as you can see, that's getting a little scratchy there. I need more paint or to twist my brush. I'm now going to clean my brush with some water really good, as best as I can. And I'm going to add white to my brush. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint pretty close to that blue line. And what's going to happen is those colors are going to mix. And I can go back and forth like this. And you're going to end up having your blue mixing with your white. Now I want to leave some of that blue border, so I don't want to paint over the whole thing. Again, anytime you have to get white paint, you want to clean your brush because you're mixing, so you're going to have to make sure that's clean. I still want a little bit of that dark outline showing, but I'm just kind of mixing a little bit of the edge with my white. So that way I get a light blue, so it's like a lighter value or a tint of the blue. Okay, so now I'm cleaning my brush. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go around with white, except this time it's going to grab less of that blue because there's not as much blue in that mixture. So eventually when you get towards the middle, you should have very little blue showing up. And it should really just be pretty much white. What happens if I accidentally go in a little bit too much with the white or I cover up my outline? So let's say I do something like this. Let's say I get the white and I accidentally cover the whole thing, or it's dry too fast. So what you can do is clean your brush and you can go back in with some more blue near the edge and do the opposite, pull a little bit of that blue into the white. So you can always go back in with some more blue if there's any areas you want to darken a little bit. So anytime you add white to a paint, you are creating a tint. So basically we've created different tints of the blues to make some shadows for the imprint of our body.